Hello, once again. Welcome to Sip, Paint, and Vent with Zoe. Today, I am joined by the fathers, the uncles. It's they, what? It's such a great moment, guys. I am so starstruck. Yeah, I'm surrounded by awesomeness, by greatness. I've got an actor as well as he's also a radio presenter, and then also joined by, let's see, he's got so many hats to wear. He's an actor. He's a former member of a great group. He is now a DJ, I think, and and I recently found out that he's a fine artist too. Aibo. Guys, it is Stoan Seate as well as Macks Papo. Yo, you guys Yo, from Max, your energy, I love it. Just seen you take over.
You have no clue.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. Hey.
No, thank you for
Great to be here.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling good.
You're good.
I'm good,
Yeah.
Just recently turned 50. The
Congratulations.
Happy Jubilee.
Congratulations and
Yeah.
happy Jubilee, and welcome to a WhatsApp group, man.
Okay.
I'm in the late 50s.
That's it. You're looking good. Well preserved.
I'm turning 60 this year.
You lie.
I'm 59 years of age.
Wow.
You see?
I'm a young spirit
You are.
with an ancient soul.
Right.
And vice versa. I'm an ancient
Yeah.
soul with
Yeah.
a young spirit.
With a
Am I-
young spirit.
Yes, man.
And a young body to boot.
But you
And
look
a
good.
young
You look good.
body
You look
at
good
that.
for 50 as well. You look
All right,
absolutely
right.
fantabulous.
Thank
You
you,
know?
brother. Right back at you.
Yeah, and time flies, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now tell me, guys, it's Father's Day today. Did you receive anything? You still gonna receive? You're
Hey,
gonna
some of
ask?
us are complicated fathers.
Wait.
Interesting fathers.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Let's just jump into it.
Let me have a
Why?
sip on it.
Okay,
Just
sip
a
on
sip
it.
on it.
Sip on
We,
it, Max.
ladies and gentlemen, are having a great glass of
Don't
good
forget
wine.
to paint as well.
Yeah.
Remember, you sip, you paint. You sip, you paint.
There's
and you
something
vent.
called natural pause.
Yeah.
I'll pause
Yeah.
at some stage.
Uh-huh.
So, but then, yeah, you're saying I must tell you about my complicated,
Fatherhood.
rather complicated, but no, I shouldn't say complicated. Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. That's the
Interestingly
word.
designed, actually,
Yes.
by design.
Okay.
That the arrangement, fatherhood, modern fatherhood is such that we accommodate circumstances, we accommodate times and changes and spaces we're finding ourselves navigating around. And so therefore, it makes an interesting kind of fatherhood for me.
Yeah.
Because before, my father wouldn't have juggled the roles, the spaces, the times, the platforms and the opportunities that fathers of today, and I'm sure I can speak very safely, for my colleague, my beautiful friend, and who's just turned 50, the Stone, the man, the inimitable, And so we find ourselves, say, divorced. I always tell people I'm not divorced, I'm unmarried.
Oh, okay.
Which then opens up opportunities and possibilities for a remarriage. So please, when you start using powerful and very depressive and very disempowering words like divorce is hectically toxic.
Right. Rather you call yourself
So I'm an unmarried man who is therefore open to still possibly marry, but I am not jumping, and then I have taken some time outside marriage.
Okay.
In other words, I didn't want to have a rebound kind of a
makes
situation
sense.
where you are running the risk of trying to replace somebody that could never. People are not replaceable. They are substitutable. I can substitute you, but I can't replace you.
Yeah.
And I found that the powerful woman I married, who gave powerful birth to two powerful children, who are now no longer children, they are young adults, one of whom my beautiful daughter has just graduated from a psychology university, those private ones.
Wow.
I don't want to mention it by name, but also out of beautiful respect and privacy that we've kept with their mother. I will not mention her name.
Yeah.
By
Congratulations.
choice. And my boy, who is turning 22 this year, it's a funny coincidence. He's turning 22 on the 22nd of December.
Oh, nice.
He nearly made it as a Sagittarian as his father.
Okay.
His father is a Sagittarian who was born the 6th of December.
Oh, okay.
So he's juggling 2 jobs. He chose, I'm not going to university, but I'm not going to take a gap year because I'm not a bum.
Yeah.
He puts it this way. He says, I'm going to work because I want to make $1 million before my father could make $1 million when he was at my age. And he's quite right. We never had those opportunities, did we?
No,
not at all.
I think it's, in today's world, we are all trying to be that springboard because, there's a generational circumstance that, a lot of our fathers suffered from.
Yeah.
And as a result, you find that it was a really debilitating circumstance in terms of them developing into, the kind of people that, that we needed, I guess, you know.
Well,
and
I
think it was a design that was created in order to do
system.
that, to break the family. But for me, Father's Day, it's a great time. My daughters are there. And Bapela Papa, get a little bit of breakfast.
Yes.
That, but every day is Father's Day in my house.
Yeah.
I think we need to, with the kids, always celebrate it and find different ways to express.
Yeah.
My daughters are grown, so I no longer deal with childish issues.
How many daughters do you have?
I've got 3 biological daughters and one heavenly daughter that God and the universe gave me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my late sister-in-law's daughter. I've had her since she was a year and a half, and now she's 16 and a half.
Bless you for that.
Yeah, she's 16 and a half now.
That's nice. That's
So,
lovely.
that's how we were raised, We were raised
definitely.
by relatives and our mothers.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
our mother was a young divorcee, so it's you try and break the cycles.
Correct.
You try and break the cycles. My
By
father
keeping it together as a father, as a modern father or contemporary father.
Absolutely. So it's I think it's an everyday kind of project.
Yeah.
That you try and win each day, each evening. You're trying to be in a better place than you were when you woke up.
Yeah.
You pray for a good day from God in the morning.
Yeah.
And you give thanks in the evening for deliverance of that day.
Yeah.
What I'm finding with my Father's Day is that because I've extended my fatherhood to a nation or a community at least of boys that I found needed a father figure in me.
Okay.
Therefore, mine becomes very blessed in that it is not just my biological kids that would then say from a distance, because obviously of marital circumstances where we're not living together. Lucky you that you actually can get to be cooked for a nice meal from within your proximity, close proximity, and in the warmth of your home. It is something that I aspire to still re-achieve because I have achieved it before.
Yeah.
So, but without fail, every year on that day, I will get a call, maybe even get a nice little praise or some sort. Barry, can we have a dinner or lunch or something?
Yeah.
It is something that we have kept, even though it is not as regular as it used to be, because the kids are. We like calling them kids because it's cute to still call them kids. But I mean, my daughter, you talked about your daughters. My daughter, I have one, is turning 25 this year.
Yeah.
She is a typical, close, not even average 2K. She was born on the 10th of the 10th month, 2000.
Oh, okay.
which makes her 25 or turning 25.
Yeah.
Well, she is turning 25. She's 24, full on 24. And they are 3 years apart from the boy. And the boy is a basketball coach as well as a real estate agent.
Oh, nice.
My
Beautiful.
daughter is a psychologist in the making, in that she's decided
Yeah.
to go on to doing her honors because
Yeah.
she just graduated with her undergraduate.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
so beautiful.
And so it's beautiful. But might I add that outside that divorce situation, then was born another beautiful boy. I'm blessed with 2 boys, replicas of me.
Oh,
If
okay.
I attempted to say anything else outside reality that
Yeah.
they are my boys, well, at least this last one.
We can
Because that other one, agree, they were in wedlock.
Oh,
And then
okay.
the one outside wedlock would then be the one after divorce. My boy is 20. No, my last born is 13.
13.
And so I have 2 boys. And this one, your replica copy,
Yeah.
carbon copy.
Yeah.
But what I'm finding with him is he has taken that soft spot, that soft nature. Yaga. I'm a softy deep down.
Okay.
I'm a softy, but I'm a harsh and as tough
Yeah.
as nails
Yeah.
when it comes to justice and reality
Yeah.
and truth.
Yes.
To an extent where I must tell you, my friend, that I will then even dare speak truth to power within our industry, and that we shall not go there because we're talking about fatherhood. And today we are feeling fatherly, and some of us are even adopted fathers by certain boys out there who need a father figure.
Yes. Yes.
So I feel very proud because I know from them, even if they just say Macks, and to come and just say thank you and give you a little card. That's the best we can afford.
Yeah.
I'm very, very appreciative of that.
Okay. All right. So, but Stoan, since you a girl dad, they say a girl dad, with what is happening currently in the society, do you ever think that maybe you are doing enough, maybe to warn your girls, ukuthi, hey, when you're gonna be requesting e-hailing, make sure of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. When you want to, I don't know how old your daughters are now, but if maybe one is starting to date, because we don't want to come across another lerato issue, but we cannot avoid it. What do you do as a dad, a girl dad, to maybe teach your little girls?
It's a tough one, I mean, you hear I think the complaints, online. There's such a wide range of opinions and positions that people take.
Yeah.
Some people, it's like, yo, why do we have to augment how we're living just to counter predators out there?
Yes.
But the reality is that it's a jungle out there.
It is.
It's a jungle out there, and there are predators. And regardless of how well we speak with my group of friends, how anti-rape we are, how anti, GBV we are, the people that we need to speak to are not in our circles. The people that need to be spoken to are not in our circles. And it's important to, let my daughters, first of all, have, I think, a toolbox of what to do.
Yes.
But
skills.
Yeah, but also
Of defense.
it's we need a multi-pronged, I think, attack on this thing,
yes.
approach on this thing, because first of all, we need a generational project that we're going to embark on to teach our young boys how to be men.
Starting there.
Yeah. So, and one thing is we cannot shame anyone into a better version of themselves.
Yeah.
So you cannot tell someone about how trash they are until they become a treasure.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
the lesson is not just for my daughters, but I think it's for all our children. If my friend has sons, I've got, in social settings, I've got a duty to affect them. My in-laws, are from the Eastern Cape. So they are closer. So the boys, they go off to the bush, to Oluka and stuff. And when they come back now, they feel that they can't wash dishes. And I'm like...
They were trained that way now.
I'm like, look, this is my roof. And you're under it, and I'm washing dishes. What are you saying about me?
Exactly.
So I think there's a part where we have to teach strength, not aggression.
Yes.
There's a part where we have to teach people that sometimes water is such a powerful force, but if you clutched it in your hands, it would slip through your fingers.
Correct.
Rather, you have to cup it and be gentle. So,
but you mentioned when Stoan that we need to start that the enemy is not within our circles. I will tell you and slightly differ without disagreeing completely because there's merit in that statement. But how many of our people in our circles who are hiding behind those wolf skins and who have actually not actually gone through the very toolbox that you're now talking about that would have then trained them and prepared them to be better men and fathers and uncles. Isn't it that we get stories and they are so often that uncle is actually being shielded because it's the very one, and that uncle is part of that circle.
Yeah.
no,
And when we talk about these things, obviously we're not going to reveal the inner, the skeletons within those very closed up closets. I could be your best buddy and all well behaved, very sophisticated and cultured, very educated. It is unfortunately the very types out of which monsters kind of evolve and erupt, and then we are shocked.
Yeah.
Max,
Njani.
njani man, kuthiwa urapile and urape ntoni na? Raped a 7-year-old.
Yes. They would even
I shall not go now and really elaborate on that argument because then it forces me to mention names that are very famous. And you could never, and you would have thought that guy would have been a cool cat amongst us.
Yeah.
But he's the very one who would have gone and then actually spent time in jail.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we need to start becoming as honest as they come in terms of what are the issues deep down that we are hiding so beautifully.
Yeah.
You understand?
yeah,
Because we have them.
I totally get it, Bramex.
Yeah. And which is regrettable and disappointing.
I think that, like where my point was, is like in terms of, you will get bo malome. Let's say in a sekokoselo, or maybe a young boy is in that discovering himself age. He's say about an 18, a 20-year-old. Yo, bangfone na 18 guys. Sorry, it's on. Do not disturb.
Father's Day.
Let's say a young boy. Some of the things that are said, to a young boy. Let's say he's in love with his girlfriend. And then they catch wind of that, and then the whole thing is to deprogram him. To say, no, son, wabana ngwanyana. Ngwanyana o ka mmontsha re wa morata sane, o tla o etsetsa masiba. You know what I'm saying? So it's there is a societal issue about certain behaviors that need to be squashed, and part of it is almost recognizing some of the things that we're doing in jest, maybe sometimes. So
that typical thing, don't do like I said. I don't know exactly how they put it, but often that we say, we don't necessarily then go do. So check what happens psychologically. They're going to mimic what we then do. We could be saying all kinds of wonderful things. But we need to be very... So what we need to be saying... Correct.
This is the piñana when it says ping.
Yeah.
It's
It
heard
would have
the
heard
older
the
piñanas
okay.
making that sound.
Maybe like a bird or something.
Yeah. So it's I think it's some type of a bug.
So, but what you are saying, it's true. We need to recalibrate and reimagine how contemporary and modern, perhaps even a more progressive parenting and fathering in our case ought to be, in order for us to be better. I have observed over years, better fathers.
Yeah.
Why don't we allow ourselves to be vulnerable?
Yeah.
And ask our daughters and our boys
Yes.
how to father them. I asked that question a couple of years ago when I took my boy to a conference, a men's conference at a church.
Oh, okay.
Three Rivers or something in Sandton. And I was fascinated by what came out of that. And I said very humbly to my boy, how would you want me to begin to re-father you differently or father you differently? Because from what I've heard and you have heard, clearly there's things we are not doing, are we? And then I said, yes, but he was ever so grateful for that vulnerability that I exposed myself to. And the humility that is required needs to get rid of that macho kind of stance that we want to take as African fathers and say, wow, I'm Africa. I was listening to my brother, my brother, who's a last born in our family. We don't have a mother anymore. May her beautiful soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
Koko Eki Agnes Mutakhela Mujadi Kuku. Oh, she was
Yeah.
gorgeous. Today, I know if she was still alive, she would have given me a nice pair of socks. At least a handkerchief. Knowing quite well, handkerchief. So it disappointed me immensely. I'm not going to mention his name out of respect, but I was totally disappointed. His son, who loves, obviously, Kim Chanaka, I'm his uncle, Kinna Ramkhulu. He says, Ramkhulu, can I have what do you call like a cat or something?
Oh,
A
yeah.
pet.
A pet.
No, but not the real, not the.
Oh,
like
okay.
a
Stuffed
teddy,
animal.
a stuffed animal.
English will have then escaped me right there. And then I have a big dog one.
Yeah.
Actually, that one is not a dog. It's actually a monkey. And he loves this monkey who's brown. And I even have a name for him. His name is McDonald.
Okay.
And then so he wants McD, like he's wanted him before. Guess what my brother says to him? Hey, wait. What?
Ngama toys.
Well, not necessarily toys.
Stuffed
Yes.
Popi,
Oh,
like.
yeah. Ngabo Popi. Yeah.
And then the boy says, no, but I want McDonald's. McDonald's. And he says, are you gay? He went as far, he took it there.
Yeah.
Are you gay? Because for him, it's in Popi.
Hey.
And I was like, Max, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Because if I were to now give him a lecture, we were going to now fight.
Yeah.
Because it would be like me
you know,
criticizing his fatherhood and his manhood.
Yeah.
Because clearly, this man believes Mushimanya had something like
Yeah. I think it's very fragile masculinity.
Correct.
And I know it's so old and cliched in South Africa to be blaming apartheid the whole time.
Yes.
But let me tell you, it's we are here sitting with a globe of black men, the most incarcerated human being on the planet, always trying to find, how do I express my masculinity?
Correct.
Is it what? Beating up my woman? Is it getting on top of society like a dog and going and standing on top of you and then everybody must submit?
And hence toxic masculinity.
It's
We're
toxic
finding
masculinity.
it today.
It's vulnerable. It's not vulnerable. It's fragile and toxic at the same time,
Correct.
which is a dangerous mix. It's like a Donald Trump. You know, I promise
Did we
you.
take it there? Because I have so much to say about Donald Trump. Somebody describe Donald Trump.
He's sitting with
that
immense
Donald
power.
Trump.
He's sitting with immense power,
Yeah.
but he's very unsure of himself.
Correct.
So in order to exert himself on the world,
Yeah.
he must hammer the world.
Correct.
He's taking a hammer even to a scalpel's or a chisel's job.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, so
He's speaking like an artist now. Did you hear the hammers in that? The sculpting there. And the perfect sculpt out of which he was describing is Donald Trump.
Eh.
Donald Trump was described recently by somebody on TikTok beautifully.
Did
But
I
he's
just-
a gifted idiot.
yeah.
I know.
Did you come across that one? Somebody said gifted idiot. I'm like,
I would
this
concur.
it's perfectly described because he is gifted.
Yeah.
It never runs out of idiocy. And because it
Misusing the
also
power.
comes, idiocy, the word idiocy. Has got idiosyncrasy as well. So because he's an idiosyncratic guy, there's an element of idiotism. He's an idiot. And sometimes because it comes from that idiosyncratic kind of nature in him, he will then have those tendencies of being idiotic and being stupid, like he's described himself to the world. I mean, that fantastic
Terrible
drama.
things are happening on Sip and Paint.
Yes.
Terrible things.
Yes.
Wait,
Yes.
excuse me.
Yes. You are doing very well.
Max.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to stop on that one. But he's a father.
He's a father.
Therefore, it's relevant to talk about. So he's not a
somebody's
typical
father.
role model for fatherhood.
Yeah.
I will not go and consult Donald Trump how to be a father.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, thank
I
you. No,
get you.
thank you.
As I feel your presence now, strength and joy are found. As I feel your peace right now, this is how I know.
You just took it to another level.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't
he
even
introduced it. Tina, we pick up cues. We are actors, highly trained
Yeah.
actors. You don't miss a cue.
Yeah.
You cannot throw that and then think you'll play Twelada.
Yeah.
Maybe you would have. Not me. Not me.
Not you, ne?
But listen, it's relevant.
Like a pit
it's
bull.
still relevant because can I tell you?
Yeah.
I'm being hot, and this we are doing very
you're
nicely.
hot.
I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
my beautiful friend here to give me Burberry. We're gonna do it even like this, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. We're chilling.
Yeah, man.
We're chilling.
Yeah,
and
man.
then maybe I can disguise this as a gift. I
Ooh,
got
wena
from-
how bona bathuna le show off
I
I
got this one. I got this one. I got this one for. Let me say that I got this one for Father's Day.
Nice,
wow.
beautiful.
Yes,
Thank you, children. Is it children?
I'm giving them the credit.
I'm
Big-
assuming
They
it's
put it
from
all
the kids.
together, my three children.
Big
Not someone else who calls him daddy.
Yes.
You know?
Wena ba sa ilo fa mo gae.
Daddy.
Ba sa ilo fa mo gae, my friend.
I don't think you got
He didn't get it.
How I get it,
He didn't get it.
Oh, no, I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening.
Somebody.
Okay. Let's
No,
let's center this.
and because I didn't hear it, if I heard it, you're Nerea somewhere.
No. Uda, Kere. I hope it's from the little ones, ne?
Yeah.
But not someone else who may be calling you daddy.
Ah!
You get it now?
No, I didn't get it because I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it at all. I was
Don't
busy.
So it's
get
not
it.
from
But listen,
daddy.
But I know these young ones like Rachel. Now you are taking me to Rachel.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, minister and queen of soft life.
Yeah.
Might I just quickly then be opportunistic and say, Rachel and I, as Maroti Maputomon Skim Sam, are back. So she would have been the one that says, Daddy.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And-
start
and
from
on
a
that
typical
note,
daddy.
daddy.
Nah. And about the daddy.
Oh my God.
I'm as old as a rago.
Oh, it's amo.
Yeah, he's
Wamo,
daddy.
o tla ntshwarisa ka mapodisa. I am as old, if not older than your father.
Yeah. ne?
That's why I call
Okay.
it Titi.
Let's
Don't
come
call
back
it-
now.
Yes.
Let's come back now before we go too far because now I see we're heading to something else. Right there, we don't want to find ourselves throwing in some innuendos in the midst of
Hallelujah.
everything.
Yeah, a re nyaka go te kry-a well ka batho. Ra tla tlhola ra tla ra bolela gore na re cancelable. Did I go there? And ba re cancel. No, we don't want to be cancelled, right? And we don't want to cause you to be cancelled. Because re ka direla nonsense. No, we don't want that.
It's a campaign.
Re ka o campaignela, right? No, because this thing, it wasn't her.
Right. But now, tell me, guys, let's come back. We've been talking about the girls, how you would father them. But now I'm thinking that sometimes you do find boys who are victims.
Oh, yeah.
Not so long ago, a couple of years ago, there was a boy, angazi Sandile, something from Mpumalanga, had a girlfriend at school, and then the girlfriend told people that he raped her, and Sandile hung himself or unalived himself. Ne?
I like that
And
word,
then
unalived.
and then the girl said, "No, nane kidlala."
Yeah.
Yeah, understand?
And it was too late.
It was too late.
Too tragic a
She
death.
didn't know the
This
consequences
is beautiful. He's
in
an artist.
such.
I'm multitasking. I'm listening to you at the same time. I mean, it's already an art, a piece of almost complete art. Wait till they see mine. It's just a concoction of conglomeration of ideas that are complex and then expressed on the canvas.
No, you'll tell us more.
Yeah,
about
no, I'm
it,
still
ne?
working.
Yeah. So now, how do we talk to our boys? Because now, it's like they need to walk on eggshells. You know, I'm both
A mother and a father.
No.
Kind of a
No. I'm a girl and a boy mother, right?
Yes.
And my boy is so charming. He is very charming. Ngihlala chama bogogo, ne? So this one time I made an appointment at school just to see his progress. And his English teacher was like, Pure is such a flirt. And I'm like,
Because it's
a
charming.
flirt?
Starts with a charm.
In grade 7. That's a wrong word to use. He's
That's what
charming.
Yeah, but there's nothing
He's
wrong
not a
with
flirt,
charming.
he's a charmer, you know? Like, okay, I know he's such a charmer, you know? But now, as a mother, I want to protect my son. Or would say, okay, draw the line. Because others, you would charm them, and then you would feel comfortable, and then the next thing,
You did this
touched
and
me,
this, yeah.
you know?
Inappropriately.
Inappropriately, you know?
Yeah, sometimes even from rejection.
Because
We understand.
Because
When you were
charm-
being friendly, you were raised well,
Aha.
and then someone thinks you are coming on to them.
Exactly.
mind you, somebody is looking for attention there, and when or some fail on a completely, you then stand to be accused of actually with that little attempt yamatomo, where you were nice and charming. Because sometimes I'm finding these days women and then the little girls will then have seen that done by their mothers and then their aunts. Women are very forward in terms of how they want things done, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. Actually, that turns me on. That a woman would come and say, "Listen, I like you, and I think we should do something about it."
I'm sure that's a lot happening in your DMs, ne?
Nah, I mean, I don't navigate that space.
Okay.
There's somebody managing it,
Oh, okay.
and they tell me it's happening, so I don't have to deal with it. I am finding myself
Ke motho
very
wa-
active.
ke
Go
motho wa
TikTok.
live, it
Yeah,
is-
That
ne?
TikTok live.
Look at me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at me.
look
I like
at
that.
me.
Yeah,
My love.
head like in
Look at
Machanaka,
me, my love.
Machanaka. So the point I wanted to make is that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you finding the charming characteristic within your boy, because that charm is going to take him very far in terms of even his career. I find that
he's cute
charming.
too.
Yeah, I find that charming people already have a key to unlock certain doors
they
that
got
would
pretty privilege.
otherwise.
Pretty privilege, ne?
It starts there, even if they're not as much eye candy as they would otherwise be in certain cases. But if they have that charm, It already is a key to unlock certain doors. You can charm your way through certain doors, but then I say, and I warn, charm. I told my brother, they're charm, because my brother was very, very charmed. The very one who says, you don't play with the my bumpopi.
Yeah.
He grew up so charming and everything. He was, females, old women would gravitate towards him because he'd be then having something to say and say ever so charmingly. But I said to him a couple of years ago, before he could even finish his high school, I said, remember, charm can only take you this far.
Yeah.
You're never going to, after matric and everything, rely on charm to open. Or
Doors
actually, well, they will open there.
They will,
Otherwise,
but-
I'll be caught
but
bad.
keep-
But
keep
it
in
can
there.
go. It can only go as far as opening them.
That's it.
What do
Yes,
you
yeah.
do with the open doors? Comes another second phase of the question.
Yeah.
Do you have the tools with which to then operate and then navigate the real world, the professional world there? So yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the charm.
Yeah.
But if it then gets translated into flirtation, like the teacher was, I suppose she wasn't regretfully saying it. She was just saying, hey, man, how charming, but she's a bit flirtatious.
Yeah.
I should know. I'm very flirtatious. I'm very flirtatious. And I'll see nothing wrong with my boy being as flirtatious.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
will sit him down and say, flirtation can be lethal if it's combined with other things.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a gift of the gap like I do have, like you do have, and then you have charm, wit, and whiz, it's a concoction and lethal.
Nah.
So it needs to be kind of curtailed.
Don't scare me now.
It needs to be
It's a-
curtailed.
very
I
It's a
tell
nuclear
Very
weapon.
no, it's unique.
Very, that combination.
Can I say what I'm about to say and
Yeah.
be naughty?
Yeah.
I always tell women, and I say, don't play around. Let's say, don't come and be all flirtatious with me,
Yeah.
and don't be playful and be a player with me. I'm a master player. After many years in the world, in life, I should be all those things. If I possess what I've just described, I have, right? And I'm finding my boys are going to have that, but except for the last born. The last born is a kind-hearted, very, very charming, yes, but very generous. He will say things like, Papa, I know that you talk about what you must do, you want to do for me and me, but me and this and that. But always remember, there are other children. Now, how many children do you say that?
Nah.
I'm blessed to be a father like that.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up.
Who?
Unfortunately, I'm also
Time
disappointed.
can be really, really jealous when we're having
Guys,
fun, isn't it?
But then, just to be concise,
Yeah.
you guys as actors, very interesting. Would you want your children to occupy the same space if they say, Papa, I want to be an actress?
Because I've just finished talking, take that one first.
Yeah.
I think for me, education is key in whatever it is
Yeah.
that they're interested in, because however tall the building that they want to build, they have to dig a very deep foundation for that. So the higher they want to go, the deeper they must go.
Yeah.
So for now, it's putting that education behind everything. Then they
Yes.
can do anything they want.
Sweet.
Let me wrap
Concise?
that and say I agree with you. I concur. Let me speak better English.
Yeah.
I concur with you, sir, completely.
Isaac.
But having said that, I come from the school of thought that says hard work never kills a man. And by man, I don't mean just your male. I'm talking about it never kills any human being. Where I come from, it never killed. Therefore, I'm saying to my boys and my girls out there, and I've already described the fact that I am a community father. I have boys and I have a girl, for instance, that used to, I'm not going to say her name, that used to gooi nyaupe, like full on nyaupe, dirty and all. She's now picked up weight. I adopted her in my very street, Cote 5.
Yeah.
Seete Busiu Street, and I said, come here, let's sit down. Sat her down and said, if I were to do 1, 2, 3, 4, wena, till the clock now and then, kere utle and utlompotsa or the khopele. What would it take for you to give up this habit? And you know, she took me very seriously.
Yeah.
She's clean today. Now and then she comes, And she demands a lot. Asks for small things like Coca-Cola. I mean, come on, 2-liter Coca-Cola. And only 20 rand they are bet or at low game and that's
okay.
But what I'm saying to my biological children is that your father has been a hard worker. Because where he came from, hard work never killed him. So the adage I want to leave them with is the harder you work, and this I say to that camera, to the boys and girls out there, the harder you work, the luckier you become.
Yes, sir.
So make yourself home and make friends with hard work ethic. Wherever we are, the both of us as fathers, is as a result of the hard work, commitment, and passion. With passion and power and commitment and absolute honesty with whatever, and authenticity with whatever you do. My children, I tell them all the time, and the children out there, my children in Africa, you can never go wrong.
Sweet. With all that being said, now I'm curious what you guys have been painting. Do you want to start? Stone, do you want to go
Stone must
first?
start. He started first.
Stone is not, it's not that deep, Stone. Why? Why are you now here? Oh,
He's an
Stone is
artist.
here.
Stone is
challenging
a
me.
fine artist as
He's
well.
a show off.
He's not.
He's like, you know what, Mbonobani, bangibizile, ngizobabonisa.
But everywhere you go,
Uyasibonisa. Guys, uyasibonisa.
Kopitori baro tshwanetse te market te bra.
te market,
Apeka te market. Kore a re se re jelo di show di sa tledi ke ena me bra.
Yeah.
Re sa re na gore hape re commissioner mo go betele.
Yeah, that's it.
Bona Father's Day ke e fitile June 16 hectare Peterson ka be go betile ka mina.
Anger.
Jeez. All right.
So,
Okay,
talking
do you want
about
me to show you?
marketing, I'll show off marketing.
Yeah,
Buri.
please show our viewers and tell us the
Ladies
meaning.
and
It's
gentlemen.
not so beautiful.
It's not, but it's not even close to being done.
No, but it's gorgeous.
But
It's already
it's
out there.
gorgeous.
Thank you.
Beautiful strokes.
And beautiful strokes, and that's a very handsome man.
Hallelujah.
That's a
Hey,
handsome
who's
man.
that?
I don't
It's a
know.
man.
You
It's a
don't know.
boy. Well,
Okay.
it's his boy. It's a
Tell-
boy.
tell
It's
us about this
imagination.
man.
He's very handsome.
Why did you choose to paint that?
I actually do a lot of portraiture in my art
Okay.
when I'm at home and stuff. So it's for me the face is really where the soul lives.
Yeah. And it's in the eyes.
You can somebody can look at you without saying anything, and then you go, "What?"
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
can see they're thinking something. You can see
Yeah.
their thoughts
Yeah.
behind their eyes.
Behind their eyes.
So yeah.
In
so
our
for me-
industry, in my filmic lexicon, I would say there's a lot of composition. There's a lot of composition. I see through the eyes, the penetrative eyes, beautiful eyes, and lips, like the African lips, like voluptuous lips.
Yeah.
Women would die for lips like those.
Nangya.
Let's leave that
Nangya.
one. He's a
And
good-looking
yours-
boy.
He is.
He's your typical flirtatious, charming boy. So
Okay, tell
should
us
I
about
reveal?
yours. Yes,
Ladies
please.
and gentlemen, dang-a-dang-dang. If I had my drum, dang-a-dang-dang. Don't expect too much.
Dang-a-dang.
Don't expect too much, because this now
Ungasichazeli.
is on an aesthetic level.
Ungasichazeli. Why is
So,
chazeli?
Gitty.
Yeah.
Correct.
Nice.
Yes.
But those are nice colors. This is so
I love
beautiful.
the color scheme, the greens in the middle,
You know?
the reds outside. There's a lot about
I want you
the
to
fire
interpret
in
it.
his
soul.
In his soul, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot in the
And the red.
brush
There's a lot of
strokes.
red, eh?
The brush strokes are very expressive, like he is, and you know he's
Vigorous.
free. He's very
Yeah,
free.
very free.
He used
Like-
the fattest brush that he had.
Correct.
So which means Wamona, he's a
Bold,
person
bold,
who's bold.
bold.
Yes.
Bold.
Hallelujah. So quite
But I
the
think
Can I say
you
something
also-
about
yes,
this?
yes,
For
please
please
tell us.
guy with
Yeah.
this. Of course, if you're authentic, and you are self-expressive, and I spoke earlier on, we touched on a lot of things. Obviously, time is not on our side. We could have elaborated a little bit more. That I speak truth to power. Right now, I'm speaking truth to my soul.
Yeah.
What my soul is doing is navigating. It is traveling. It's traversing this thing called life, the gigantic life that it is, and it has become in this country, a very challenging life, especially. And in this now, I've become very opportunistic and say, Tina artists are finding our life and lives collectively. Life, very challenging. And challenging is actually beginning, it's not even beginning to describe how challenging. I find that, politicians will go about challenges. Whilst they're referring to problems. We're going through problems. You would agree with me. And so much that in certain cases, our colleagues are actually literally sick. And I'm finding that when I express myself in a space like this where I am free, I'm privileged to even be invited, because I never take that for granted, that I am invited to such spaces. There are many other artists would love these spaces to then therefore express where their lives, their professional, cultural, spiritual lives are. And today, I wanted just to play with my life and my soul. My soul is free, it's spirited, it is all over the place. It's inundated with a lot of demand. Where Macks Papo, the actor Macks Papo, because we've now rebranded as Macks Papo. Catch that one. I'm no longer Macks Papo. We are returning. Macks Papo as the actor is returning to Skim Sam. And this, I'm finding this is expressing all the opportunities, the avenues that are opening up. My world is opening up. I'm leaving this space, as you say, it's not that deep and dark, open for more opportunities and more possibilities.
Yeah.
This is the picture saying this is where my life is at. And he's right. It's the boldness with which you express your life, your sentiments, your thoughts, your ideas and ideals, and your aspirations. My aspirations is that and therefore it's my time. Even at 60, my life starts.
Sweet. Okay, here's mine.
It's beautiful.
Hallelujah.
What do you think it
What
is?
do we say? No, tell us. Let's tell you what our interpretation is.
Yeah.
Because I spoke last,
And
you go.
I see a golden river. I see a golden river. I'm always captured by the relationship between cold and warm, and the yellow and the green together have a great relationship on earth. So I'm really interested to know what you're expressing there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I cannot tell you now. You know when you're going to find out?
When?
On the very last episode of this season of Sip, Paint and Vent with Zoe. There'll be 12 blocks
Okay.
for each episode. So each block, when
Will have-
combined, it's like a puzzle. When combined, it's a huge
Then it will
painting.
tell a
So is this
story.
related to another piece?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, can I just
Yeah.
take a bite on my interpretation of
Okay.
that?
ANC.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
If I went to the literal, I'll say ANC.
I see.
But absolutely far from that.
Yeah.
You are on a journey.
Yeah.
Your journey is bright. It is yellow. It's sunlight. It's sunshine. It's solar energy. And on the right and the left of your, let's start with your head. Your creative is on your right. Your psychologically, your IQ is on your left. But those two sides could also be your right-hand side and your left-hand side. Yep, your whole body that is carrying your life. What's happening on your right-hand side could be issues. And if I look at your left from my point of view, it's a little bit darker. It's a little bit on your right. There's hope. There's a glimmer of hope. In fact, as you travel further, no, that dark tunnel is opening up. There's light there. I'm seeing that your journey is continuous and you have traveled from wherever you come and you are going further.
Yeah.
And if I were to be spiritual with you,
Yeah.
I say your future is bright.
Ooh, Irish.
Mastogos.
Well, I am a right
I could
brain,
go further, but I'm not going to go. We don't have
Actually,
the
I'm a
luxury of
balance.
time.
Actually, I do have a balance of both right and the left brain, but I'm more of a right brain.
Yeah, you're creative.
And very.
We all are.
But then
we are all right
you
brained.
can still throw me in a boardroom, as well.
What I'm finding
When
out right is brighter. what I've seen there
Yeah.
is brighter with what you've expressed, with light, with the colors.
Yeah.
It's brighter. Your left-hand side, whatever's been happening on your left from wherever you come, has been dark. You've come from dark to bright.
Okay.
We will edit that one out.
Let's end it right there. That's in product. Please leave already.
Why is it please?
Because I want us to toast.
Let's wrap this up. Otherwise, we're not gonna finish.
No, we want
Thank you, gentlemen, for
another
coming.
30 minutes.
Our viewers
We are
at
forcing
home,
it.
thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, to like, to comment on YouTube. We're also on Spotify and on Apple Podcast. It's a wrap. Remember, you are loved. Mwah.
Korea!
Oh my God.
Hashtag Korea!
Wow, bravo.
Thank you. Chomi, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Seete, Paint and Vent on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok for all the latest updates and snippets. Also, catch their full episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. By engaging with us, you stand a chance to win a sip and paint hamper sponsored by Namakwa at the value of 350 rands. Just a heads up, terms and conditions do apply. Oh, by the way, here's a sneak peek of what I painted on today's episode. Can you guess what the full piece will look like out of the 12 part?